I have no intention of resigning. I wouldn't take advice from the Greens under any circumstances. If she chooses to take offence, that's her business. It's not my concern. I won't be apologising to her. In fact, really she ought to be apologising to the men of Australia for her misandry. You know, she's a misandrist. That's the equivalent of a misogynist, only it's directed at men. She blames men for the actions of individual men. She's called them morons and pigs. She infers, if not outright says, that they're all rapists. And so she's got some apologising to do, in my opinion. Mr Turnbull seems to be quick to call out misogyny, but doesn't seem to recognise that misandry is just as bad. And he really ought to do that. Otherwise, you know, what's he doing? Is he embarrassed about being a male? It's not legitimate to go blaming men, all men, for the actions of individual criminals, nor is it legitimate to go blaming all women for the actions of individual women. We should get over that sort of thing, and he ought not to be engaging in that kind of activity. If Sarah was to admit that not all men are responsible for the actions of individual criminals, that we are all individuals and that we don't share collective responsibility for the actions of other individuals, and if she was to acknowledge that women have a right to have some means of protecting themselves so that they don't have to change their behaviour because there are predatory people out there, such as tasers and pepper spray, then if she said all that, then I would publicly admit that I've misjudged her. I'd forgive her for what she said about me, and I would apologise to her. This is an argument we've had about who said what in the Senate, and I don't much want to go over that again. Suffice to say, I don't accept her denial. But just 2 weeks ago, she was on in fact, she was on Sunrise, when she said men are pigs and morons, and they have to stop doing the sort of things that led to the death of Eurydice Dixon in Melbourne. You know, there's no question that she has a collective attitude towards men. It's called misandry, and it's just as reprehensible as misogyny, which is an attitude that some people have, some men have, towards all women. It's just as reprehensible. What I was highlighting in that comment was the fact that by basically saying men are the enemy, which is what she did and what she has said separately as well, and then she clearly has normal relationships with men, boyfriends, in other words. She has a double standard, and so I was pointing out essentially that double standard.